Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Midwest Dungeon Delvers. Today, we are continuing our journey of the fair before the foul. It's been a couple of weeks since we had an episode, but we had Thanksgiving and all other festivities and stuff during those weeks. So, we're about to hop in, and what fate befuddles all of the people we shall see.
March the troll with strength of stone, cave and mud his ancient home, blending ages, milk and honey, folk with brass, the mudmen's irony. Oh, the tales of night and day, grit and magic, steel and clay, guided in swords, riddles be praised, our gods paths in a wild arrays. It's the fair before the foul, the fair before the foul. Quiet steps on muddy land, Roman tools and elfin lore, stands between peace and war. Guide and guides on wings of green, sprite's own magic, secret sheen, harbinger of twilight's call, dances through the midnight straw. Oh, the tales of night and day, grit and magic, steel and clay, guided in swords, riddles be praised, our gods paths in a wild arrays. It's the fair before the foul, the fair before the foul.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a blessing to have all of the crew back here tonight. Let's give the floor over to our wonderful master of games, Cornsteeman. Go ahead.
All right. So, in the last episode, which was 2 weeks ago, I believe, we had some generic housekeeping stuff of building up a little bit more of the crossroads. You had some interactions with the with the princess, and then just some general downtime activities and whatnot. Arg, upon receiving the ability to take as much of the ingredients for his alchemy experiments, decided to try and pick up the whole wagon, hurting his back where the princess insisted vigorously on taking him to heal him, and everybody agreeing. Arg was ushered into the princess's private quarters where the door was shut, leaving Arg in a room covered in bright red runes all over the inside of the room. And that was where we left off. So Arg, you are inside the room. It is bright red.
Yeah.
The moment the door shuts, the princess looks over at you, sweet as can be.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with an obvious occultism check. I just want to know what the runes are.
Okay. Give me an occultism check.
Oh, that's actually not bad. I would add my intelligence to this, wouldn't I?
Yes.
So that's a 9.
Yeah, 19. As you look at a lot of like you've seen some of these runes on let's see, where is it? There it is. On like Karoo and Slagwort. You've seen some of these runes like on their skin and stuff like that. But this is almost like full words and like alphabet. Like you can make out words and stuff on the walls.
Okay, what does it say?
Okay, I was not prepared for that. Of all the things I was prepared for, it was not that. But you do see, as I said, some of the words along the walls, a lot of runes that don't have meaning, as I'm very quickly trying to put together something. But yeah, you see all of these runes and everything, and then as well as you're looking around the room, seeing all of this, you also notice several robed figures inside the room with you, wearing black robes, and you see various sigils and stuff marked on their robes.
Are any of them familiar in any way?
Yes, a lot of them look like elves.
Well, that's insightful.
Very descriptive.
Yes. Okay. Well then, let's see
They
here.
look like, as you are staring at them, you see 6 female elves
Yeah.
in
All
these
right. Well,
black
there's
robes.
only one thing to do here. Bluff like the Dickens. I'm going to pretend I don't notice anything and just wait to be healed.
So, one of the sentences you're able to make out, even though you don't really speak the language, it's something inside of you is resonating with it. You get a I seek power, grant me your aid, and show me the way, is written out around the princess's bed as you are hoisted up onto the bed as the females approach, and you can see like the magical energies begin to come from their hands, as well as the princess who walks up to your head and says, "Don't worry, Arg, we are going to take care of you."
Thank you, pretty lady.
The other elves walk up, put their hands on you. You feel the magical healing powers, like whenever Gaiden has healed you before.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to this, but it's a lot more intense, and you can, because there's so many people pumping magic into you, it's a lot faster, and it has an odd feeling to it where you feel like the warmth of like a fire inside of you.
Yeah, no, paying attention in every possible regard. I am picking up every detail I can. I don't care how small it is. I want to know how many people. I want to know how much magic. I want to know what the feeling feels like, where it's centered in my body, how the healing seems to be going, any odd senses in the room. Everything's turned up to 12, and I'm paying attention to everything.
You notice a lot of the minor aches, pains, and everything. They like I said, you've experienced when Gaiden has healed you, and like how it all kind of like stitches back together. This is doing it in a slightly different way, where like you're, instead of the magic kind of like just smoothing everything over, you can watch as like some of the scratches you might have had, burns and stuff like that, like they are essentially re-knitting themselves without that glow of magic. It's like you can see the sinews and skin and everything just like leap out across each other and like stitch itself back together. And
So
you
does
can
it seem
feel
like it's being more efficient?
it not more efficient, just done differently.
Okay.
It's the same efficiency. Everything's working the same way. In the terms of like healing your body, it's just you can sense it, you can feel it, and you can watch these your body refixing itself in a way that it doesn't whenever Gaiden heals you. Yeah, they're doing their chant, like they're doing a little bit of their chanting and everything, and you can pick out some of the words. You've experienced something similar to this before. You don't remember where exactly.
Okay.
And then the princess looks at you, and I need you to make. Or wait, what's your? Is it? Do you have to make a resistance, or do you have to? Oh no, she is going
Oh,
to
you
attempt
physical or mystical resistance?
mystical resistance.
13.
13. Okay. Okay, yeah. The princess gives you a like looks you in the eyes, and you feel the power of suggestion run through you. And she politely suggests, "Now, don't tell anyone about what's going on in here. Obviously, Arg. We're friends, and we're here to help you. And we understand you, Arg. And because we're such
Do I
good friends, we have to stick together and keep secrets like this."
do I have any opportunity to resist at all?
I mean, she made it over your mystical resistance.
What was your role on that?
Her roll was a would have been a 17.
Okay, so it wasn't heavy. All right. So, would it be fair to say that Arg is unable to resist, but at the same time fully conscious of what's going on?
Yes, you are aware. She's not trying to like wipe your mind. She's just trying to put a suggestion of like, "Hey, we are helping you. Please don't go spoiling our secrets."
Who should I tell? Gaiden, who foolishly joined a ritual of another species? Biddlesby, who has no idea what's going on, or a goblin? Oh, I know. Why don't I tell the female troll who can't speak?
She looks at you and goes, "Well, Arg, Gaiden he did participate in it, and Biddlesby might be persuaded to join. We're feeling Biddlesby and Gaiden out at the moment. But
I was
you
being 500% aggressively sarcastic there. Like, oh yeah, right. Tell who? Hmm?
and as far as the two goblins, and she's aware you're being sarcastic, but she's explaining it to you because she's talking. Mostly out of discomfort, you can tell. She goes, "You have two goblins who also, bear the mark, and so, you know, we we're hoping that we can, grow our influence here.
Influence for who or what?
Well, for those like us."
You know what one of the rules of hunting in the wild is?
And she goes, "Do tell."
Don't eat game that you didn't hunt yourself. If you don't know where something comes from, you shouldn't trust it. So I'm wondering where these powers come from.
And we can help you learn about that.
Wasn't planning on telling anyone anyway.
Okay. Well, at least not yet. There might come a time when we can be more open about this.
be honest, there aren't really anyone I'd want to tell anyway, so I don't really care, but I'll keep it secret.
Thank you, Arg. And she taps you on the shoulder and well, the healing is almost done, and I will try to reach out to you at some point in your lab so that we can have discussions and I can give you some information that you may or may not be aware of.
Okay.
And then as you you're fully healed now, you're able to walk again. You notice a lot of the female elves. You can see the female elf armor in the corner of the room.
Okay.
And yeah, making the implication that some of these are guards of hers.
Okay, alright. Well, I'm healed up. I'll just make my way out, I guess. Unless she has anything else she wants from me.
Not at the moment.
Thank you for the healing.
You're welcome, Arg. Just be safe.
Admittedly, Arg has a tendency to throw himself headfirst into dangerous circumstances, so I doubt he'll be capable of doing that, but understood.
Just thank you, Arg. You shut the door,
Well,
and yeah, the interaction with the princess is gone. Well, all things considered.
you need to make a new character. Yes!
Not yet. Not yet. Biddlesby, Gaiden, you guys have seen Arg get injured and transported over to the princess's room, and yeah, maybe 20-30 minutes pass by, and then Arg comes back out of the princess's room.
Oh.
Well,
Looking a lot better than what he did when he went in.
it looks like he was healed, just as she
So,
said.
is that cart
Indeed.
still there?
Yes, the cart is still there.
Alright, I'm gonna try this again.
Oh, no.
Arg strolling
I
right back
want-
over to you guys and the cart.
Seem to have forgotten something the last time I was here. I'll take it with me now. I see this is a might roll, right?
It is a might roll. With advantage.
Okay. Alright, with advantage. Oh, yes, that's more like it. Alright, advantage there, and so I would, so the advantage in the save, do I add that? Sorry, not the advantage to the save, the +2 to the save because I've got the little dot, right?
Yep.
Oh, wait, I add my combat mastery to that, right?
For an athletics check.
No, not for just a straight might roll, right?
Oh.
For a might save, I would add 2 to it, but for a might roll, I don't know. I'm just gonna add might and all that because it's still 23. So
Yeah, you pick up the cart, and it's a light cart.
is it? Did they unload it while I was in there?
No. I mean, it's not a light cart, but with your 23, you pick it up.
Oh, okay.
and-
All
and
right.
Arg goes, "This isn't as heavy as what it was the last time."
I'm gonna
Guide,
heft it lightly
go
to see
ahead.
if it feels any emptier than before. You know,
No.
like a coin purse toss in the hand, right?
Yeah, you kind of jostle it, and you're like, "No, it's the same weight." Gaiden, you notice
Okay.
as he's holding up the cart, you can see like where his like veins and stuff are. You can see little trails of like red liquid going through his like veins and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Kind of like the glowing
And
waterway.
I'm standing next to Biddlesby, seeing all this.
Uh-huh. You
and
see
how
it.
far are we? Or where are we from?
I would say less than 20 feet away from the cart and Arg. Biddlesby, you do not see the red light under the skin. You just watch Arg pick this up, and his muscles just bulge.
I'm gonna tap Biddlesby on the shoulder.
What?
Do you look at me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just head to my lab while they're doing all this.
As soon as he looks at me, I give him a 0.5 mesmer, and the words I'm using is, he's juicing.
All right. Biddlesby, what's your mystical defense?
11.
Gaiden, make a mystical attack essentially.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one because it makes a lot of sense. My base roll is higher than 11, so.
Okay.
And I don't see any minuses.
Okay. Biddlesby, you feel it.
Am I aware? Like, I'm aware that he's mesmerizing me, right?
Like lightly. It's a light thing. But you also know you also know the way Gaiden is. If he's kind of a prankster and jokester, he's never done it in a negative way.
Right. I just kind of like look at Gaiden and
like
say,
you can see it in my eyes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I just go, Gaiden, you didn't need to.
Well, I didn't say anything out loud, did I? And I give him a look over my shoulder, and I'm like, he's doing stuff.
I look back over and I go, what concoctions do you think he's building in his lair if he's giving us these death?
I think you should come and help me
things?
to my workshop. Come help me in my workshop. I have a project I need your hands with.
Oh, okay.
Ah, yes.
And I follow him to the workshop.
Sneaky.
Yep.
All right.
So,
Subtle.
as soon as he gets in there, I'm gonna start up my fire pit and get my bellows going.
Okay. You start doing your thing.
Yep.
All right. What are you making?
Once all the noises, I'm making noise. Is what I'm making.
Okay. You're just firing everything up to make a racket. Okay.
Yep. And then I pick up a piece of metal and I drop it, and then I lean over to Biddlesby. It's like, this.
Hey now.
Is doing stuff. You know, he's got red stuff. Like he picked up that cart earlier, and his he just had rune juice running through his arms. Like, I haven't seen him do that yet.
Biddlesby, you did not see any of that.
I can transfer images through Mesmer, right? I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, I don't think you can.
Well, not like an image transfer, but you implant ideas as well as like lead them to.
Yeah, you could do that.
I think it's more along the lines of like making something imagine something, not actually show them something, right?
Yeah.
So if you said that,
vaguely the same. It's not exactly one for one, but it's like a cheap imitation.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I won't need more then. But yeah, it's
You
really
say this guy is doing stuff.
yeah, like he's getting power from somewhere, and it's not us. It's not from training out in the yard, that's for sure. If you know what I mean.
Well, Gaiden, he spends all his time in his little cave hole brewing concoctions of death and destruction. Don't you think he's also augmenting himself?
Well, maybe. I don't know exactly, but I didn't see anything before he got healed. I'm just saying.
Well, I didn't see anything after he got healed except his muscles were rippled, which I attribute to a princess's royal god's healers versus our piddle-fought infirmary run by, no offense, goblins.
Valid. Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes.
I'm just saying, Arg has given us every reason to not trust him because he's a troll. However, he's given us every reason to trust him because he's a troll.
Well, okay. Well,
I think I see that logic, and it makes my brain hurt.
you're not there.
You guys hear you hear the shouts of goblin scouts or sentries. It seems as though someone else has arrived
From which direction?
from behind the encampment compared to where the goblins came from. Where you were told to build wall because
Yes.
it was undefended.
Let
From
us
that direction.
let us go greet. And I leave Gaiden's workshop.
Gaiden, are you going with him?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys walk up to the wall, you look out, and you see a fairly large caravan of short, squat figures approaching. A lot of them a decent amount of them in really good-looking armor. Similar to the Stone Guts armor.
Oh
But
my.
newer.
They sent for the dwarves.
Yeah, there's like maybe 20 guards and like maybe 60 other dwarves with them.
Oh.
The non-guard dwarves are still like, they still have weapons. They're just not as heavily armored or heavily weaponed.
Right. Greetings, Lord Dwarves. We shall open the gates post haste.
Goblins
However,
are already moving to open the gates.
so what?
Said as soon as you say that, the goblins start moving to open up the gates.
I also shout out, however, be forewarned that this camp is housed primarily of goblins, some wearing the armor of your kin. Do not harm these goblins. You have been warned.
They come through, and like you see the goblins kind of like stand, like the stone guts stand, ready,
Yeah.
and in front of the goblin or the dwarves who walk in, and the guards kind of like walk up, maybe 2 foot in between them.
Mm.
It looks like it could go to blows.
Yep.
As the leader of this intrepid troop. Oi, you, Legionnaire, are you the leader here? Or just the sentry?
I am the head of command at this outpost, yes.
Good. We have things to discuss. And he hops off the wagon and comes walking up. He looks you up and down as he gets up to you and he. Oh, I could do a lot better for you than your quartermasters.
Talking about my armor.
Your armor, your weapon. And he looks around, like looks you up and down like he's a tailor. Like just kind of like examining everything, and looks over at Guide and does the same thing. Yeah, I could do a lot better for you guys. It'll cost you, but it's worth it.
Well, I mean, if you're offering.
He goes, nothing's free. Hey, shakes his finger as he's walking back to get in front of Biddlesby.
Don't go making deals with these dwarves just yet.
Well, I mean, he was offering, but then I guess he rescinded his offer with money requirements and stuff. But
Knowing
it was I can provide you better if you pay.
Knowing your stoutness, your
I mean, if it was a competition, I would definitely have some pretty cool stuff. Just saying.
I'm just saying, and I look at Gaiden, who's been interrupting me every time I'm trying to speak.
I wiggle my wings.
I was saying, knowing your stoutness and thoroughness for plate mail, you would make fine armor for me, yes. But for Gaiden here, who requires light armaments for swift movement in the air, I think this would be a detriment.
Yes, are you willing to put money on that bet?
I may not have much, but I can wager a single gold.
I don't get out of bed in the morning for no less than 3.
You drive a hard bargain. 2.
He is already out of bed.
He leans up against the like a section of your wall and goes, how about this? Take you on the 1. However, and he looks around and he goes, I get main mineral rights to this area. We'll say, half a day's travel every direction.
I do not have the authorization to grant you those mineral rights. However, we do have a liaison from the royal family with us, who may be able to negotiate such rights.
He waves it. No. You're the commander here. You have the authority. And he says it with like this big old wicked grin. He goes, value a commander who's willing to lay it out on the line, so to speak. As he like drums his stomach. No need to shirk your duties or, put it off on someone else's head. It's a friendly wager. It's only a half a day's travel.
Would such mineral rights include the traversal tunnels beneath our fortifications?
If there's minerals, they be ours.
What if
Above,
excavating
below, that's
such minerals would damage the integrity of the tunnels or the land beneath our feet?
He gestures to the door, the rest of the Dwarven contingent, and he goes, "Why do you think we're here? We're here to make this into a proper fort. And potentially, depending on how things go, a proper city even, eventually. Though we'll start small. Fort first."
City? That's a
It
lofty
depends.
goal.
Well, I mean, you do have a princess here, and you were, you had a prince quite literally come by 2-3 weeks ago, and say he wanted this, properly fortified, and he'd be sending dwarves. Or did you not know that was the prince?
I am fully aware of who visited my fortifications. Good Sir Dwarf.
He goes, "So you've had multiple royalty visits. You have one currently staying here. They want it properly fortified, not just with a regular wooden palisade like the other fort. And you know how these things go. You've been on the frontier long enough to know that whenever somebody builds a permanent fortification, things happen to grow."
Again, I think you would make fine armor for me, but for good Sir Gaiden, your armor would be too thick and heavy for his wing movements.
And I think you, sir, are chicken. Unwilling to take a friendly wager? I think I can make him good plate mail that will still allow him to move around. It might be a little challenging, but he points at Guide and he goes, "This fairy is up to the task, and plus he's looks a lot hardier than most of his kin." What say you, Biddlesby?
I look at Gaiden.
Commissioning a fighter or a lightweight airframe fighter armor for me. Is that
He is going to attempt to make a light plate.
Okay.
So like Biddlesby wears heavy plate, right? Or you wear heavy armor, I should say, right?
I see what's happening here.
Yeah. He wants to make you a lighter but heavy armor because Biddlesby has said
Bro's
that,
got that
doesn't.
metal from that Heath Ledger movie, The Knight's Tale.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, Biddlesby said that I can't do it, or that he doesn't believe I can do it. I shall prove him wrong."
Yeah. I wouldn't mind some armor.
So what say you, Sir Biddlesby?
The character quickly responds. The player has a mouthful of snack. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, never mind. You're good. You're good.
I'm very sorry.
You're good.
The character very quickly respond. I thought I'd had more time to chow down on a chip. I'm sorry.
You're good. And
He responds after Gaiden has kind of been like, "Yeah, I'd like some armor." All right, a friendly wager. Half a day's journey.
he gives his belly a little pop, 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 pop. That's the deal.
All right.
What?
And he sticks his hand out to you. And he goes,
What was the other
Ragnar
side of
Iron.
the deal again?
The deal is if he can make you a light enough heavy armor so that you can still fly around and do all your maneuvers, he gets 1 gold piece and mineral rights for half a day's travel in every direction.
So yeah, that's 5 separate different kinds of fleece I've come up with already. So
Bittlesby doesn't know minerals. He knows goblins. And
Yeah,
he should know
goblins.
logistics.
Lightly.
At least a little, at least more than enough
Can't
to know that
imagine
when
what would
somebody's
happen
this
to us if
eager,
we sold the mineral lights for a piece of armor.
It's a friendly wager. And if
Is it
you guys
friendly?
win,
And again-
you guys get the armor for free.
And
I've heard of sergeants doing other things. So
I very much like look at Gaiden and am like, don't you, like with my face, don't you dare go all out. Like you better not try hard to fly.
He goes, so, deal, and he holds out his hand.
Well, what's a hard number of performance that we can set? What if I do like a down and back? What's the furthest part of the chamber to the furthest part of the chamber?
He
Or
goes,
something like
well,
that.
just do some of your flying around here. Let me get a good gauge of what you can do.
Whoa, that shows him what he's working with, and that's not the wager.
He goes, fair.
I mean, we have to have a before and after, right?
We know the before.
And the dwarf goes, I mean, if that's how you want, I'm okay with this.
We are talking about half a day's journey.
He goes, that is true. That is true. He goes, you know what? I don't need to see it before.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he stands like, his belly is like 9 inches away from you, Bittlesby. He spits in his hand, and he goes, on the word of you and your family, you won't break it. If it's better, if it's as good as what he can do now, you'll honor the deal.
I will honor the deal. And I shake his hand.
And he looks out to the dwarfs, I've never known a legionnaire to lie like that. Never. Everyone here bore witness. And he goes, by the way, name's Ragnar Ironfoot.
Ragnar Ironfoot.
Yep. And you watch him like walk over to the edge of the wall and then just hop off onto his wagon that's coming through. Gaiden, as you see the wagon that he hops on, it's got a lot of nice equipment. It is a full on like forge. Like he's bringing in all of his gear.
Can I do
And
a history check for, like, as he goes off to get started? Can I do a history check on minerals to remember about any brown or black crystals that can't typically be worked with, that are like hard to, like, impossible to melt, won't dent?
Yeah, go ahead. Make a history check.
I'm hoping we can find some around here. Hey, how like you are. Ah, yes. That's a 22.
Okay, and what exactly are you looking for?
The minerals I just described are titanium oxide and iron titanium trioxide.
All right, let me give that a. Actually, you know what? Give me a percentile roll, 2 percentile rolls.
2 percentiles, okay?
And I will say the titanium, because I don't think is titanium titanium is not really that common.
It's not.
So I'll give titanium a less than 5. And then you said the other one was iron.
Well, it's titanium ore, but it comes in 2 forms.
Okay.
So it's an
the
iron-rich
problem-
oxide, or it's just a titanium oxide.
It's not going to be titanium. It can't be titanium. The actual methods for smelting titanium require tools that even a magically enhanced forge would not be capable of.
Yeah, well, I'm guide and verbal, so we're gonna break those rules.
All right.
Okay,
I will
but
say
the
it's
point
less
is that
than,
if you smelt it,
Okay, you're in a
you
base.
don't
You're
have
no,
the
you're
right
not.
equipment.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
It
break those
burns.
rules.
I'm gonna say
All
it's
right.
less than 5%. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me
It's a 3 and a 40.
you have a 3 and a 40.
I do.
Okay. Well, in that case, you do remember that there is some of this material that you've seen. In that it's not super far away, but you have seen it.
All right. As soon as I remember where it is, I'm gonna grab 2 big gobbies and a cart.
Okay.
And 2 more big gobbies and tools, and then we're gonna go load the tools into the cart and immediately run off to that oxide.
All right. So you grab some of Slagward's brutish goblins.
Yes. And we're on like time and a half right now. At
Right.
least. Maybe not double time, but like
The goblins are loping.
they're loping.
Yeah, you know where like you do that like half run kind of like gait.
Okay.
Uh,
Almost an
but
airborne
remember,
shuffle.
kind of.
Okay, I'll take that.
But also remember, these tools are not. These are not the greatest tools. Most
Yep.
of these tools are goblin tools.
Yeah, we should be able to at least extract the ore. Because it comes in clumps.
Right.
Pretty sure.
Middlesby, make me a awareness check if you wouldn't mind.
Of course, I will do such. Which D20 will fail me this week? Let's go. Awareness. That is as middle of the road as you can get. That is a 10 on the die plus 5, so 15.
All right. Well, you see like the dwarves go settle up next to one of the like one of the natural walls.
Uh-huh.
You see them start to unpack the Ragnar's forge, and it almost seems modular the way it's designed to like collapse and go back. Like you can tell it's designed to collapse and be set up quickly.
Interesting.
Beyond that, you start to see the dwarves start to eat their way into the side of the wall.
Excuse me, what?
As they are excavating their burrows, for lack of a better term, and for lack of time to build proper homes for themselves.
I begin to witness the dwarves eat their way into the tunnels, huh?
Uh-huh.
Arg and Megora are very well hidden as soon as they find out that there are dwarves in the area.
Well, because you've taken the wagon, I assume you're taking it to your new alchemist location.
The main lab, yeah.
Okay. As you pull it down in there, you hear the goblins call that somebody's arrived. You hear the armored footsteps of new people have arrived. New people arriving. There's a lot of footsteps. There's a lot of wagons that you can hear. Do you poke your head up?
Stealthily, yes.
Okay. You peek up over the ledge and you see dwarves. And not just a couple dwarves, a lot of dwarves.
We're hiding now. We're going now.
You are underground. And
We're
your main
not
lab.
underground deep enough.
You are underground in your main lab. And wherever you've put your side labs and like your storage locations, those are, I assume, not in the tunnels with you.
No, not in these lower tunnels. No, yeah, they're hidden further down in the various caverns around here.
Okay, so yeah, there are dwarves up there now.
I grab Megora, I shove a whole bunch of stuff into her arms, I load everything else into the wagon, grab it, and both of us get out of there to one of my backup locations.
We're going deeper. We're going deeper.
Fall back. We gotta fall back.
We are delving deeper into this mountain.
On the one hand, I might run into a Balrog. On the other, I will no longer be near the dwarves. I'm okay with this.
You also watch as Ragnar goes over and to the princess's location, and you can see him like interact with the guard, do normal introductions and stuff like that.
Biddlesby thinks it would probably be rude if the dwarf just... Or, like, is she expecting this visit, or...
Does Biddlesby know this?
Is this still part of the, like, caravan? Or no, that was before the healing.
Uh-huh. In fact, you remember Ragnar said something about the prince sent for him.
Ooh. Okay. So yeah. I'm gonna make sure that I am present to introduce him to the princess.
So you make a beeline for him as he's walking over to and he's like talking to the guards and whatnot.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna use the advantage of my elf legs.
Uh-huh. You beat feet over there real fast.
Oh yeah.
You see the elf guard turn around, walk back, and like knock on the door for the queen or for the princess, not the queen. for the princess, and you see, you get up there, and you catch the tail end of Ragnar talking to, what is the goblin's name?
The guard one?
Drekken.
Yeah.
And you catch the last few words of their conversation, and he says, "I could make some new armor for you. It would cost you."
Now, what are you trying to weasel out of good Sir Drekken?
He looks at you. He goes, Biddlesby, I'm not weaseling anything out of anyone. I'm a skilled smith, and I'm quite well known. My arms and armament are, well, very high quality. And I mean, he wears the armor nice. It's of the old fashion, but he wears it nice.
I thought your original intention was for fortifications, not armaments.
He gives you a big old grin and he goes, "Yes." He, drums his fingers on his belly, a little inconspicuous, and he goes, "Well, I'm more of a myth engineer type, with plans, schematics, tools, things like that might be needed. That's more my specialty. That's why I brought," and he gestures to all the other dwarves. He goes, "That's why I brought so many. They're the workers."
As he gestures to the dwarves, I look out upon the ones eating their way into the tunnels, and I'm never gonna get used to their flatulence.
He goes, "It's in politer society, away from prying eyes. Most of my kinfolk, they don't show this side of them. We have a more open, open and, well, what would you call it? Unconventional method of doing what we need to get done."
Of course.
Yes, that's why he points out, he goes, "That's why my clan is smaller than most. But we do come highly rated."
Well, if introductions to the princess is what you're after, let us get it done.
Aye. Gotta make sure everybody who needs to know of me knows of me and that I'm here. You don't happen to have any other illustrious people I should meet, do you?
Would you consider yourself the chief of your clan?
Yes, I would, yes.
Well then, perhaps you can attend the next meeting of the chieftains.
Oh, a meeting of the chiefs. Ooh. And he kind of wiggles his body a little bit. I'm about to be big man on campus. He goes, so, as waiting for the princess to get ready, he goes, "So, Biddlesby, are you a learned man?"
In some ways, yes. In other ways, no. I'm learned enough to know that I don't know much.
He goes, "But You can read.
Yes.
You're fond of reading.
To a degree.
He fumbles out a book and goes, "You big on?" Yeah. He like opens up a book and it's math. It's a lot of math. He's like showing you engineering text and he goes, "What do you think of these?"
I think good Sir Gaiden would have more fun with that than me.
He looks at you and looks at your like glassy-eyed response. He goes, "Ah, okay. Gaiden it is."
Where is Gaiden?
You went with the goblins to go do the chink chink of some metals.
Yeah, before we can't. You know.
Yep. So you guys you take the goblins over and you're mining out some of this material. Let's see how much you are able to get. Give me another percentile roll.
We got 4 war tusk goblins. And we only have 1 2-wheel cart, right?
Yeah.
Or we have several 2-wheel carts, but no 4-wheel
You said
carts.
you brought one.
Yeah.
You brought one cart with you.
Yep.
So roll me a percentile.
Okay.
Yeah, what?
30.
Alright. Alright, we will do. Alright, so you get like about 17 pounds of this ore.
All right.
Um,
Didn't even need the cart.
yeah, I mean you weren't exactly mining isn't exactly your profession. And so like as you dig, it seems like you've hit the end of the vein. It doesn't look like it was a very big vein. You have a lot of rock, not a lot of ore.
Right.
But like if you were to remove all the rock from the ore, you got about 17 pounds of ore.
Okay. So a full cart, but by weight it's about by volume it's 17 pounds of titanium oxide.
Yeah.
And not
you got a lot of rock in
titanium
there.
oxide.
It's just you got a lot of rock in there. It's just the ore. There's about 17 pounds of ore, which is fairly decent, especially for little people.
Alrighty. Alright, let's get this back to the base.
The goblins are pushing and pulling the wagon, and it is bogged down heavy, but they are moving it.
Well, heck yeah.
Arg, you go to the lowest lab that you have.
About how far am I from the main camp?
I would say you've probably dug your way down a little ways whenever you made this new lab. So you're probably 400 or 500 feet down away from the camp.
It's also down one of the side tunnels, right? So you down the side tunnel and then down into the ground. That was my original idea for it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Get things set up and basically turn to Midlori and be like,
"Dwarves, we're staying here for a while."
She just kind of like nods in understanding. and then rubs her belly.
Let's go hunting.
Okay.
Away from the camp.
Yes, away from the camp you go hunting. So yeah.
Not since I've been hunting, so.
It has been. You've been eating a
Unless
lot
you
of.
count that cow, of course, but.
I mean,
Like taking candy from a baby.
it was a big bull that you murked a bull.
Oh, let's see what we find in the caves.
All right, roll me a
Nature or survival?
survival.
Alright. Oh, yeah. Nat 20. Which unfortunately means 19 because I have -1, but. -1 intelligence, so. 19.
All right. You go out. You find some very large rats.
Sounds about right.
And you trap, essentially trap, like 10 of these big rats. And by trap, it's more you and you and the female troll kind of corral them into an area and then just start picking them up by the tails.
Is that alright?
So yeah, go ahead and roll me a d12 for you and a d12 for her, and I will add.
Sorry, well, what? D what for me?
A d12 for both you and her, so a d12 for you and a
okay,
d12 for her.
Let's see. That's a 10. Here we go. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. She gets a 12 and I get a 10.
Yeah, you come back with 2 fists of rats.
All right.
You find a lot of the
Let's-
rats around like some goblin refuse piles.
Right. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Anyway, they'll be grilled over with of sage, so
Oh, okay.
I was trying to find a quote for that. You can't remember it. Oh, a troll. I'm cooking something that's small and hairy. It's got to be grilled over a fire with a sprinkling of sage.
Hell yeah. That is exactly what a troll does.
I love making quotes, riffs off of other things that make no sense in game, but are funny to me.
It all makes sense for Arg, the troll, who is far more intelligent than the average troll.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Definitely though, not just gonna cook it, but actually like harvest it. So bones, tail, whiskers, fur, just the works. Anything that can be used, even the sinew and stuff like that.
Yeah, you like fully strip down the rats. I'm just gonna use the natural 20 with your survival. As you with a surgeon's precision are peeling the rats apart in surgical perfection. Like nothing is wasted. No wrong cuts with your nails, nothing like that. It's just you're doing all of the things, you're making sure all of the important bits are separated out.
Right. Let's see. Right. I'm gonna take a lot of the inner organs, kidneys, intestine, stuff like that, and I'm going to render them. I'm making disease bombs now.
Okay. Okay, so you start you start doing the rendering and making sure that you collect some of the offal from them.
Right. Most of the uh, alchemy that Arg normally does is, cook it over a fire kind of a thing, right? This is a lot more like preparing something to gradually decay in a jar, and we're encouraging that, right? Because the whole idea is rats are disease laden. Let's make it worse, and then stick it in a bottle and throw it at our enemies.
Okay. I support these actions.
I mean, obviously,
You've
not
convinced
actually
us,
throw
Noel.
it at the enemies. What's that? Never heard of it. You wouldn't actually
Who?
throw it at the enemies, of course. You'd
Yeah,
pour it in the
gotta throw it
water
at the
supply, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And you have just the goblin to do this.
Indeed, yes. I'm gonna be the reason why the concept of war crime is a thing amongst elves now, aren't I?
Arg is canon.
Wait.
Oh well, there we go.
Arg is the reason for the Geneva Convention,
No.
like
Sounds
Canada.
legit.
All right, so
Sorry.
you start preparing the concoction of bitterest disease. Give me an alchemy check.
Want that with intelligence or agility?
We'll go with intelligence. As this is less about you like making it and more about you preparing it.
Right. So +2 -1, that actually works out to 19. I'm rolling
All
really
right.
good tonight.
You make like it. You can tell that this is going to set up nicely.
As soon as it looks like it's heading in the right direction, I seal it in an airtight container and set it
Alright.
to the side. Because, I mean, trolls regenerate, but there's regenerating, and then there's regenerating as bits of you become soup. I'll pass on that, thanks.
All right. Okay. So you bottle up this disease, this pestilential concoction you have created. Do you sprinkle in any of your cauldron of water?
Oh. No. Arg has different sensibilities of what is dangerous and what is not, but Arg has the animal sense of, I don't know what that does. I'm not going to touch it.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to check.
No, if Boar was here, that would be 100% yes, but no, this is Arg.
Okay. So you create your little
Plague in a jar.
plague in a jar. As you watch it, over the course of time, percolate.
Ark has a good feeling about this.
I pop my head into Arg's workshop.
You pop your
No, but you would
Well-
need to be able to find it. I've told nobody where this is except for Megora.
I've-
pop your head into Arg's workshop, and it is bare. There is nothing here anymore.
Oh. I look where he used to keep his acid stores.
You look around. There's nothing there.
Nothing there. He didn't even leave his acid. This is crazy.
I believe
Sling
he
skull!
gave you. I believe
I
he
yell
gave
out.
you one.
Oh,
He
I
either
have a
gave you-
bottle of acid?
I think he either gave you
Yeah,
acid
you
or
got a couple
bomb.
bottles of acid.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
I gave him 2 bottles of acid and a vial of Greek fire.
Yeah.
Well, ARG-sized vial.
Yeah, he gave you like 3 urns of various stuff.
Okay, bet. Well, then I'm gonna remember that as I walk towards his shop and turn around on heel and go back for it.
Well, I mean, you do notice that Arg's not in his workshop, and you don't know where Arg is.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what I came for is not here. Back to my shop.
Yes.
As you make it back up top, you see the forge that was on a wagon is
Mm-hmm.
fully built and fully furnished in like half of a day.
Mm.
And you can see like where like because you weren't there when it was getting put up, it is modular, so it is designed to be collapsible and movable.
Uh-huh. That is awesome.
Yeah, and it looks really nice. It's like 6-7 times the size of your forge,
Of course it is. Well,
and it's not made by goblins.
right.
And as you like stand there for a moment and you look at it, all of its majesty, Ragnar comes up to you. Hey, Gaiden. Littlesby told me you were an educated man.
I dabble.
He goes,
I look
tell
over
me
my
what.
shoulders real quick.
Middlesby is nowhere around, and he pulls out this book. He opens it up. He flips through some pages. And goes, I have been working on something. Tell me what you think about this. And you see a multiple-barreled, essentially like crossbow.
I look at the draw length and how many reinforcements are on the spring. Like, oh, well, how much weight is this supposed to pull back? And 3 barrels? Could that really be accurate?
It's well, when you look at it, it shows one one level, and it's like 5 barrels, and then you see another, like he flips the page and it shows like it being like 10 barrels deep, like down, so it's like 50 barrels altogether.
Ah, I see.
And he goes, well,
Why
see,
be accurate when
exactly. And he points at you. He goes, you know what I'm talking about here. He goes, all right, so with the wires, with the ropes being twisted, it generates more power. So when you pull it back, you're pulling back all of it, and with multiple. And he shows on the diagram like how you have multiple sets of them. As you pull it down further, it generates more power and thrust when it goes up, able to lob them further.
Ah, yes. Oh, I see. Yeah, right here. It's multi-staged springing.
Yes.
I see.
Now, this is a crew weapon. It would be like 4 to 6 people to really give it the heave-ho.
Okay. Well, so 4 people have to pull it back. Have you thought about a mechanism to pull it back instead of hand power?
He goes, oh, I like you a lot. And he flips through some more of the pages and goes, I have this right here. Exactly in that vein of thought.
Ah, yes.
And
I
he
see
shows
you've
you,
been to my friend Winless.
Oh, you know him.
I've been around the block, but don't tell.
And he gives you a
old
big
Biddlesby.
slap on the back, which causes you to like jolt forward a bit. He goes, oh, I'm
my
so
wings.
glad to find someone like you. Come. In my shop we go.
Well, okay, yeah, I'll check it out for a second. And I giggle.
And he walks you in and he like shows you around the place. And he goes, now, I've designed it so they can all be collapsible down, put onto a wagon, driven off. Takes less than a day. It's wonderful. He goes, now. And he points at his like foundry. He's got like 2 large smelters, a massive anvil, and like all of the craftsman's dreams.
Oh,
He goes, such a beaut.
it is. I give his tool rack a run through with my edge of my fingers.
Yeah, you like, as you do, you're like, oh, these are like high-end tools. Like, these are really good. And he's even got like whitesmithing tools for like jewelry and stuff as well.
Yeah, I could use a set of those, and I point at those jeweler's tools.
He goes, oh?
Yeah, that's really what I'm missing. Is like I have a workshop. It can do like some roughing and such, but I'm really into the finer things. You know, I like those.
You're gonna have to show me a workshop. Let's go head out to yours. See what you got.
Oh,
What you're working with.
yeah.
And he like makes his way for the door with you. Or like he makes his way to the door expecting you to be right there with him.
Yeah. I jump over to him and we walk over to my workshop.
As you get up to your workshop, he's like, where's your workshop? And
It's
then he,
in this building right here.
He goes, oh. He looks at you with the big sads in his eye. I'm like, oh, you poor thing.
It's a work in progress.
Because I understand. He taps you on the shoulders. He goes,
If only I could have more than one moment at my shop, you know, every time I start working on something, we're going somewhere. Surely you can relate.
oh, yep. Points over to his. He goes, that's why I made it modular.
Ah,
Business keeps me
Man.
away from home, so
I
Bring
might
home
have to
with
build
you.
something like that.
exactly. He goes, I can show you the design. It takes a while to build, but I can show it to you. He goes, like he peeks his head and he goes,
Would
Nah.
you like to come in? I open the door real quick and I'm like, well, over there's my what I currently use to work on fine tools, and as soon as he looks, I throw a tarp over my cart.
he looks at it, he goes, oh. He goes, what have you worked on? Let me see something that you've made.
Well, I'm out of headsets because I sent all those off. Well, let me show you this. I pull out my my blueprint for the headset for the optics and such.
He looks at it and he goes, have you made one?
I just sent the shipment out to the quartermaster.
Oh, well, that is a shame. I would have loved to have seen one. He goes, what's the design and purpose for?
Well, it's you wear it like a crown or like a toque almost, but the top is missing to allow for more heat to get out, or like so you don't sweat as much. But you see, you flip that part down right there, and you can see better.
Oh, it's like a jeweler's lens.
Yeah, but for far away.
Hey, give it. How far are we talking?
A few meters, you know, like of almost 100 meters. You can see way better.
Hey, he looks aghast and astonished. He's like, that far?
Oh yeah, you can make out like an entire hands. Like you could see individual fingers at 100 meters.
Oh,
Man, I wish I had a set. Here, hold on a second. And I
He
look through my
grabs
stash
you
to see if I at least have any lenses left over.
I'm sure you do have some lenses.
I think I had one that was boiled a little bit
Yeah.
that I didn't like. I pull it out and like, well, this is one of my bad ones, but take a peek.
He holds it up and he goes, I didn't know you were a glass worker as well.
Yeah.
Yes. And he gives it back to you and he goes, huh. Yes. All right. You work on some of those lenses. I'll. He looks at the blueprint for the full head get up. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go make one of these with a rough idea from your blueprint, and we'll make a joint effort on this. I want to see how well this contraption works.
All right.
I might even be willing to buy it from you.
All right. Yeah, I think I could sell this version probably.
And he goes off to start working on the metal part.
All right. As soon as he walks out of the door, I lift up the tarp and I grab a rock of stuff out and I run over to the counter and dab some acid on it.
It eats away a lot of the stone. The acid's not strong enough to like reduce down the metal.
Perfect. And as soon as I do that, I cap the acid back and I toss my rock back in and I start on my lens.
Okay. Give me a glass workers check. Which glass blowing, agility or might?
Okay. Might on this one. Well, this was an agility.
It's either agility or might. It's whichever one you prefer.
Okay. I'll do might.
Okay.
And then do I add a skill to it or just the might roll? Just add might.
You just add your might to it.
Okay. So that's 12.
Okay. I mean, it's not.
I'm
the
really
best
bad at these
quality.
lenses.
It's not the best quality, but it's not the cloudy one.
I'm gonna make a
okay.
second one or another set.
Okay.
Not happy with that.
Yeah, you hold them up and you're like, these aren't good enough. Do it again.
These ones don't even make it out of the fire.
Oh.
So I throw that one aside. And I start on the last set that I can do for now, I suppose.
Okay.
Hey, 22.
Okay, you pull these out. They look remarkable.
Perfect. And I run outside and I lock my door with my best lock.
Okay. And as you turn around to run back over to Ragnar's, you see the princess.
And what?
Your
Is she before me?
Grace.
And Biddlesby as well.
All right. Perfect. I bow to Grace and I wave at Billsby and I keep on walking.
You kind of do the bow and wave, because you're like bowing yourself away.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that irritation from that first day that made you really scared of her.
Uh-huh.
You see that flare immediately. And then she turns around with a smile and goes, Biddlesby, I am so glad to have seen you. I was beginning to think everybody was avoiding me.
Well, of course not, Your Grace.
And she walks over and latches her arm around yours uncomfortably tight.
Yeah.
She goes, So, Biddlesby, what new and amazing things are happening?
Well, you have a visitor who was sent by your brother.
Oh?
And
Brother dearest.
I escort her to the dwarf who wanted to meet her.
The entire way is very uncomfortable.
I bet.
a lot of pressure on you.
I bet.
And she goes, "Ah, here is the. This was not here earlier, Biddlesby. However, I do think it looks wonderful."
Well,
And she
yes.
taps you. She taps you on the shoulder. She goes, "You did a wonderful job. I'm so impressed. You are so full of just surprises. No, let's not tarry. Come on."
Right this
She
way.
walks in.
Your Grace, this is Ragnar Ironfoot.
And she goes, "Ah, Ragnar Ironfoot." Hey, he bows low and he goes, "Ah, my lady." Pleasantries are exchanged. Yeah, an offer to make better gear for her guards is
Is
yeah,
made.
is proffered.
Yep.
She goes, "I would have to see what kind of weapons you make in order to see if it would be something superior to what has already been made for my guards." All that jazz. And she looks at Gaiden and goes, "Oh, Gaiden, I didn't realize you'd be here." And she says with a predatory smile on her face,
Oh, yes, I am here. I did not know that you would be here.
she like walks up to you and you feel like the mouse trapped in the corner as a very large and
Mhm.
hungry house cat is approaching you.
I shift around the table.
And she goes, "That's are you?"
And I pull out the lenses and I hand it to Ragnar. And I'm like, see, this is what I was talking about. And I look back to the princess and I'm with attention.
And she goes, she goes to make a step. "Ragnar, what are you two working on here?" And she like puts her arm over Ragnar's shoulder and gives her shoulder a squeeze, and then ruffles your hair and puts her hand on the back of your neck.
I pretend to fall off balance.
As you pretend to fall off balance, her hand immediately feels like an iron shackle on the back of your neck. As you attempt to fall over, and she just roots you to place. Goes, "Oh, you are so clumsy today, Gaiden. No need to worry."
You're right. Speaking of clumsy, the floor is lava. And I jump up on the table.
She lets you go, and she goes, So what are you two working on? I think I saw. Didn't you show me this before, Gaiden? One of these masks with the magnification on them, right?
Yes, that's right.
She goes, "Ah!" And she looks at the
I
metalwork
say
and goes,
from a perched
His
stance.
metalwork is not too bad." As he fits in the lenses, and he goes, he smiles and nods. He goes, we're going to see how this works with us working together. It's a rare opportunity to find someone as crafty as Gaiden here." And he puts
I
it on,
smile.
and he like walks out to the front, and looks out, and he goes, "Gaiden, I love this."
While he is marveling at the like magnitude of this outside before Gaiden like goes out to like tell him more, I like look at Gaiden and I go, "When you do the fly testing, fly normally,
A thumbs up.
and then
Yeah.
after do the special."
Yes.
And I say that subtly, trying to make sure that the dwarf is distracted by the magnification thing outside, so we're still inside before he's. I'm trying to do
trickery.
that.
Do a trickery. I'll give you advantage.
Okay.
Because the dwarf is distracted.
Straight roll. Nat 20.
Yeah, you whisper it, not even the princess hears you.
And then I give him a pat on the shoulder and like usher him out the door.
You guys all walk out, leaving the princess inside.
Oh no, I
Fuming
do not
mad.
I do not leave her inside. I'm ushering Gaiden out, leaving me with the princess inside.
Okay, she thinks that because you have your like hand on his shoulder and you like whispered in his ear and you guys are both walking towards the door, she looks and feels like you are leaving without being like none of you were dismissed. And all of you are leaving.
Oh no.
And as you kind of like push Gaiden out the door, you turn and like catch her face as it's going from the most furious thunderhead you have ever seen. Like you catch her in that mid transition to back to pleasantly sweet. But that moment that you saw her face contorted into a rage that is terrifying.
Yo.
And she smiles with gritted teeth and she goes, "Ah, Biddlesby. If you wanted to get me alone, all you had to do was say something." And she moves closer to you.
No, milady, you misunderstand. I only wished for them to not distract you with something that you've already seen before, while we marvel at the ingenuity of the dwarves and see how we can put better use their practices.
As you're saying this, she's moving closer and closer to you. Are you backing up?
Oh no, I'm like moving closer to her to like include her on sneakily stealing dwarven tech. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to make her feel included in that. Also, knowing like this is a ploy to ingratiate myself to her and hope that she doesn't, try and like put an arm around me in some way again.
Uh-huh. As you like begin to like do that like the hunched over like conspiratorial walk
Yeah.
towards her of like
Yeah.
she's walking towards you in a less conspiratorial manner, and like as you guys come within, like you stop, she does not stop.
No.
She then pivots to the side of you, shuts the door, and then you watch her hand go down to the lock and locks the door.
I'm not okay. I need an adult.
And then she goes,
It's nice
"Biddlesby."
knowing you, Biddlesby.
And she just kind of like walks you to the wall, getting that uncomfortable close to where you kind of like do the backup thing.
Milady, if you wanted to get me alone, all you had to do was say so. Like mirroring her words.
Mm-hmm. You now feel like the mouse in the corner with the hungry house cats. And she goes, and she puts both of her hands on her hips and she goes, "Am astounded that you would take such initiative to dismiss people in my stead." She feels as though she's as big as Arg.
Yup. She might as well be.
As you're just kind of like, "Oh no. Oh no." With the biggest, most uncomfortable smile on her face,
Yup.
she goes, "How bold. And you do know what they say about how fortune favors the bold. Father's going to love this." And you can feel the venom drip with those words.
Yeah. I just kind of like look at her. Like I go from like wanting to include her in like a conspiratorial thing to being like, oh, I believe I've completely misread this situation.
She smiles. She goes, oh yes, you have. It's okay, Biddlesby. And she like reaches down, grabs the inside collar of your armor, and pulls you up.
I don't like this.
She goes, I just need to know that you're willing to play along.
In what regard, Your Grace?
She puts her hand, like her finger over your lips and goes, shh, shh. No. See, the game being played, pawns don't ask why they move where they move. They just accept their movement orders. You're okay with this, right?
Head nod.
You just like
I
nod.
I can't talk. She's got her.
Good. My brother was right in being. Brother was right about you, Littlesby. My brother was right about you. You are going to make an excellent partner.
What?
Not getting any better.
She goes over and she unlocks the door, and she takes a moment to like ruffle her dress up a little bit.
Whoa. Your
And
Grace.
then, like, flush, like she's like, you know, working herself up and flushing her face out a little bit. And she opens the door and she goes, well, gentlemen, it was wonderful to see you all today. And she just briskly walks back to her room. And you all can see that her dress is a little disheveled, her face is a little flush, her hair's a little out of place. Biddlesby, with like hand outstretched, Your Grace, looking every bit guilty and mortified. Ragnar walks in, looks around, walks up to you and pats you on the shoulder and goes, oh, you dog, I like you. It's a bold move, going after the princess like that.
No, that's... I was gonna try and steal tech from you.
He waves you off, he goes, you locked the door. You know what it took for me to make sure that the goblins didn't go in, or the elves for that matter. Gave you two lovebirds a few moments by yourself.
No, I didn't lock the door.
He goes, I know you, and he does the air quotes, didn't lock the door. That would be improper.
No, I...
He looks at you and goes, I like you two so much. You are my favorite. I knew I liked Legionnaires.
I walk up behind Biddles and I give him a slap on the back too. That's right, Biddles.
Guy didn't know.
Yeah.
No.
And she walks off. You guys are in the workshop. You know, Biddlesby is having a mental breakdown at the moment. Arg. You hear the pitter patter of soft feet walking towards you.
Yeah, let's go stealthy.
Go ahead and make your stealth roll.
Nope, let's not go stealthy.
You're like, wait a second. How does anybody know where I am right now? And you turn around and see the princess.
That's pretty much what I expected.
Yep.
Princess.
Arg. And it is the scary one.
May I help you?
She goes, well, and she sits down in like the corner of your room, and she goes, what have you been working on, Arg?
Acid bombs and Greek fire, primarily. A couple other experiments that are, let's just say, not even in the planning stages at this point, and that's about all.
Claps her hands, and she goes, Arg, you are just a delight, and I love every time I talk to you. It is so refreshing to have someone who is competent and knows what they're doing around. And she props her legs out, and you can see, like, underneath her dress, she's got, like, leather breeches and very nice leather boots on. And she hikes up her dress a little bit, pulls out a small skull. And you can see, like, the eyes of it are bright red like your cauldron. And she goes, so, you have just a tiny bit of... Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. She goes, so, you have a tiny bit of another species' blood in you.
Okay.
This species was wiped out, unfortunately. But their powers in magic were odd and different, but potent. And she tosses you the skull. Be gentle with that. She goes, that's the skull.
We're gonna make just an agility save, I think.
Okay.
Because if it's a small skull, she can carry underneath her dress concealed. I'm 5 of her.
Uh-huh.
So let's see if I even catch this thing.
Yep, she just tosses it up at you.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna catch it.
Yep. Pretty much exactly what I expected. That would be a second natural 1, sir.
You go to catch it. It bounces off of a finger. You go with the other hand. Bounces off of the palm before you can close your fingers around it. Back to the other hand. Smacking off of, like, your pinky finger. Bouncing off your knee. And, like, rolling on the ground. And she just looks at you astonished.
Bends down to pick it up, like, with a finger and a thumb. And, like, he's having trouble doing so. It's so small. Right?
Mm-hmm. As you pick it up with your finger and your thumb, you have a flashback to when you had your interaction.
Right.
And you like have that memory flash vividly.
I set it on my ingredients table and pull out a jeweler's loop and start going over it.
You see all kinds of like with the jewelers like lens that you're looking through at it. You can see like the tiniest runes inscribed all over it. Like you can't make them out because they're so small, even with the jeweler's loop. But like, you can see them there.
Back to the princess. What was the name of this species?
Well, they were called demons, but they were all wiped out in the war with the mud people.
Were they of the folk?
They were. They weren't as welcomed as everyone else. They were kind of shunned, kind of like your people.
Why?
But they were potent, and they did fight. They fought. Their magics, their teachings, their homes, all of it's lost. Occasionally we find scraps.
What is your pursuit with this?
Well, it's multifaceted. See, if
You
we can
want
keep
power.
them... She goes, naturally. She goes, but more so than power, which, don't get me wrong, that is a fine goal in and of itself, but knowledge, keeping a species that has gone extinct alive through trying to, embrace their traditions, their knowledge, just figuring them out.
And making it work for you.
Because there's that. There is that.
So is your eye on the throne, or do you seek another source of power?
Why not both?
Fair.
She goes, the throne will be easy enough. She goes, plus I think Biddlesby has taken a liking to me.
Arg looks at her like, uh-huh, uh-huh.
And she looks at you and she goes, what, you don't think I'm pretty?
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe a raging storm is beautiful?
She goes, of course it is. Dangerous.
Would you go and hug it?
Hmm?
Would you go and hug it?
She goes, I mean, that's one way of dealing with it. Harnessing it is kind of like hugging it.
Somehow I do not think he will harness you.
No, but I think it's more of a... he'll ride out the storm.
Be nice to the little babby.
She goes, nothing like that. But he will make a great... Father will approve. But we're not
maybe in
talking
another
about
200 years.
She goes, no, a war hero from the front who's able to make a city, get the goblins of the frontier to submit, who comes from a soldier's background. He's one of the people. A
What
hero.
level are you at for, what level are you at for inheritance?
She goes, well, my brother is obviously first in line. She goes,
Mm-hmm.
which puts me into a, tertiary responsibility role. However, me and my brother are very close. And so we've come to an agreement.
How much is he aware of?
Enough. And she
Hmm.
looks at the skull. Not that. Or, and she points to, the runes and stuff that you can see. She goes, none of that. He just thinks I have a fascination with the histories and trying to unlock magical means.
Of course, politics don't much interest me. But this, I gesture to the skull, this interests me. Since you showed me something interesting, I'll show you something interesting. I grab the plague vial.
No, not the plague vial.
She just looks at it and she goes, what are you doing with this exactly?
Tell me, what's the worst thing about war?
She thinks about it for a moment. She's like, well, there's a lot of things that can be bad.
The survivors. They'll either make problems or tell stories, neither of which is something you want. What's the best thing about a plague?
She gestures for you to go on.
Survivors. They solve problems and they tell stories.
I like it. Again, I love everything you do, Arg. You are a troll, second to none. Probably my most favorite person here.
We'll take that as the compliment it might have been intended to be.
She goes, it is most certainly a compliment. So there's all these preening lackeys. And then she gestures to you, magnificence. She goes, so, what if we took this and we ramped it up a little bit more?
Gesturing to the skull. With that?
Huh? She goes, no,
Gesturing
not
to
that.
the skull.
No,
Okay.
she doesn't.
Hmm.
She waves her hand out.
That's
She
good.
points to your cauldron and goes, now that could do.
Arg shakes his head. One of the important things about this is we need to make sure that there are survivors. Much better for it to be a natural plague and multiple than anything that might be more troublesome to deal with. After all, there are no heroes if there are no survivors.
And she sits there, she goes, that's a fair point. A very fair point. But what if those survivors just so happen to bring, with their seemingly cured states, bring plague to new settlements?
Iterative infections. Not a bad idea, but honestly speaking, the problem is once you permit something to grow beyond the bounds you permit it, it doesn't stop. Personally, I'd recommend just multiple infections. It's a far more clunky method, but control is important with a plague as virulent as this.
Not. I can see that you have thought this out and have valid reasons behind it.
Here's the thing, Princess. If I have the opportunity to exterminate an army, well, I'm a troll. On the other hand, I rather like my bits and pieces attached in one piece, so a little care goes a long way sometimes.
She nods. She goes, speaking of troll, and how have you been able to get her to get closer to your level of intelligence and capability? I can see she works with the alchemy supplies as well. So she's
Arg smirks and
learning.
Arg smirks and leans back. I have no particular interest in denying you, Your Majesty. But on the other hand, I thought we were doing tit for tat.
She goes, we are. I gave you a wagon of supplies. I healed you. I've given you some wisdom. You've given me
Very well.
a plague.
Reproduction.
She goes, no, not reproduction. What if we were to capture more trolls? Reproduction aside.
What I meant is I reproduced what happened to me. As for doing it to other trolls, twice is confirmation. 3 times is boring. I'd want to see if I could come up with something new to apply.
She smiles and she goes, we don't need them to be you, Arg. But imagine what would happen if we could introduce trolls into the folk. Make you all part of our budding new societies.
Arg starts chuckling. You know what trolls call goblins?
She smiles. Food.
Spicy food, yes. And you know what we call elves?
Also food.
Scrawny food, yes. I don't think that would end positively.
She looks at you. She goes, you're not eating me. You haven't eaten
Arg
Biddle.
looks at her and is like, if I took so much as a step towards you with the intent of taking a bite, I'd be dead before I'd even put my foot on the ground.
Probably.
Just because I'm hungry doesn't mean I'm stupid. You're strong, and you're stronger than me. For now.
That
And
doesn't
thus,
explain
for
Biddle's to your
now.
guidance.
Well, easier source of food. I might be a troll, but I'm a lazy troll. At least when it comes to the hunting aspect.
She nods. Oh, very well, very well.
Not saying no, of course. I'd be more than willing to provide you with a few samples if you wanted them. Merely, well, it won't be a passion project, you understand. Although, now that
you
is a
say-
thought.
What is a thought?
Well, so, the method of my and her empowerment is ritualistic. But I do have multiple alchemical reagents here. And, he nods towards the cauldron. Catalyst.
And she goes,
The experiments would be contained by the fact that merely a single sample could be made with any given batch. And, of course, gut any failures. But, yes. Young trolls would probably be best. Start small. Containment breaches are a concern, you understand.
Goes, I like it. She goes, I like it a lot. It's a side project for you. We have to locate trolls first. And then
Indeed.
we experiment.
In the meantime, I'm quite interested in discovering the secrets of this liquid.
She goes, well, do tell what you do find out about it. If you find anything
Happy
out
to.
before our next rendezvous.
Oh, out of curiosity, I gestured to the flayed skin hanging on the wall. Any knowledge of that?
She goes, she moves it around a little bit. She goes, yeah, I mean, it's part of a ritual. It's most of it, actually.
Interesting. I'll research it some more. Thank you for this most enlightening conversation, Your Highness.
And thank you, Arg. It's always a pleasure. She gets up and she walks out.
Did she take the plague vial with her?
Nope.
Ah, excellent. Excellent.
And she didn't take
Did
the
she take
skull
the
either.
skull?
No, she left that
Interesting.
there.
Interesting.
So the first thing I do as soon as she leaves is I craft the stealthiest niche I can, get in the room and stash the skull there and make sure that the wall looks like stone. And I will take as long doing it as is necessary to make sure that it is well hidden.
Give me a trickery roll.
Okay, trickery. No, I don't have a dot in it, so I wouldn't add my stat either, right?
Nope.
Okay, so it's just a flat 15.
It is fairly well concealed. It looks... unless somebody's, like, looking for this specifically, chances are they're not going to find anything when they come in here.
Right. I'll turn the plague to its niche, where it continues to percolate slowly. Actually, so I'll arrange a small brazier that's specifically designed to see to it that the vial is kept slightly above room temperature, right? So that it's continuously percolating even while sealed in an airtight container, but not likely to crack or anything like that.
Okay.
And then,
You're keeping it at optimal bacterial growth.
yeah. We want this thing to... Basically speaking, this should be a bubonic plague for whatever city gets it slipped in the supply, right? So, yeah.
All right. You
And
set it up.
I had an idea while I was talking with the princess, so I'm going to research the idea of using the red water to prolong and sustain the effects of minor poisons. You know, nothing like sicken or weaken, but like, oh, my stomach is upset or I have a headache, right? But then it just doesn't stop.
Okay. Give me an occultism check.
That would be intelligence, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's a 3.
It's gonna take you a while to figure this out.
Right.
Bum, bum,
All right. Back up to
bum.
Gaiden and Biddlesby.
That's actually kind of a good place to stop her.
Okay. We can stop there for now.
It's past 8:30.
Oh, I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it was already past 8:30. I was in the heat of it. You were in the
Yes, you were. We've been a little fair before the foul starved, everybody. So I'm sorry to be the timekeeper there, but just to help us all get to work in the morning, you know.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
I
looking
get that.
forward to this, though.
I am also looking forward to the way things transpired.
oh yeah, this
Well, and
was
the fun thing is Arg is entirely not evil aligned, right? He's definitely chaotic, right? But he's chaotic neutral, largely. So I'm building up kind of this whole counterbalance act that's going on next. It's gonna be fun to see if I can pull it off.
I am excited.
Or the princess will skin me and use me as a fur rug. Either or. So, I survived and solid session. I'm liking what all the build up here. Although we got majorly fleeced by that dwarf. Like, even if he loses, I'm unhappy with how fleeced we've gotten by that dwarf.
I mean,
If you guys win though, you guys get free armor.
that is true.
Yeah,
Versus
that's a pretty big
property
if right
rights.
there. No,
Versus
mineral
just
rights.
mineral rights.
Yeah, it's pretty much
He
the
did
same thing.
not state. He did not state unrefined minerals. Half a day journey according to what standard?
Yeah, we're gonna use
What
the
kind of
messenger
armor?
lizard.
Right, or who knows what else, right? Who knows what kind of teleportation method he's got, right? And all of this is entirely based around the fact where he's like, no. Biddlesby gave it to me. It was his idea.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, we're
terrible.
that-
Terrible
that-
idea.
that was a lot of ouch right there.
Yep.
It's okay. Biddlesby and Gaiden both impressed Ragnar a lot today.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane.
And he doesn't even know the half of it.
He don't. My big thing is like in my head, Biddlesby is like, "Oh, Gaiden, please, when you put on the armor, just fly like you used to before the ritual." And
Yeah, I'm just gonna conveniently forget how to activate my power.
And then when you take the armor off to show the hey, without the heavy stuff, this is what he normally flies like, then do the boom. Like the sonic boom.
Yeah, because nobody should be able to see it, other than like me and Arg and the princess.
Unless one of the
And I'm
dwarves
And the princess's
is...
guards, and one of the dwarves most likely, and several of the goblins. which
Who
can also
who
see
knows? Who
them.
knows? Biddlesby
Yeah.
has
Right.
zero clue who's all in this occult thing.
It's like
Here,
it's like the entire
I'll turn on
magical
the power,
secret world
but I'll-
underneath a singular guy who has no idea that magic exists. That's what we got going on.
Okay. Before we dive into a bunch of other theories for another half an hour, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the Midwest Dungeon Delvers, the Fair Before the Foul, episode 10. It was crazy. And we're super excited for next week. It's gonna be awesome. In the coming weeks, maybe not this next week, maybe the week after, I'm wanting to run a Christmas one-shot. And kind of continue on that storyline that's been going on for years.
Yes, last year.
And I have some fun ideas, and I'm gonna reach out and hopefully get a couple of guests to appear in it, and it should be a lot of fun. So I be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow, big day, big performance day, and then big stream day. So we'll see you there. Also, Saturday morning, tune in to the Fedorable Will channel for Super Smash Quest. You get to see Bob's backstory. All right, it's gonna be phenomenal. We scripted some stuff, and some stuff is gonna be improv, and I've got some surprises for him, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Tune in then, 10 a.m. Saturday morning, like a Saturday morning cartoon. All right, thank you guys so much. It was a blessing to have all of you guys with me, and I hope you were just as blessed. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
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 Arch the throw with strength of stone. Pave and mud, his ancient home, blending ages, milk and honey. Folk with brass, the mudmen's irony. Oh, the tales of night and day, grit and magic, steel and clay, guided in swords, riddles be praised. Our gods' paths in wild arrays. It's the fair before the foul, the fair before the foul. Riddles beat with sword in hand, quiet steps on muddy land. Roman tools and elfin lore stands between peace and war. Guide and guides on wings of green, sprite's own magic, secret sheen. Harbinger of twilight's call, dances through the midnight straw. Oh, the tales of night and day, grit and magic, steel and clay, guided in swords, riddles be praised. Our gods' paths in wild arrays. It's the fair before the foul, the fair before the foul.